It's the Esoteric Eric Roberts podcast. Today, we're talking about It's My Party from 1996, directed by John Gleiser, known mostly for Grease, a film I have never seen, Roy.
Never seen Grease?
Never seen it. I know the songs.
I saw it for the first, and I think I've seen it at this point maybe twice, but I think I've only seen it once. I saw it at the movie theaters. It had a revival in the 90s, maybe in 1997 or something, and I saw it at the movies with a fan of the movie who is a friend of ours, whom I saw back in our hometown at the gym, my parents' gym, before all this COVID madness went down. When I was on a visit, his name is Kron Brocker.
Oh, nice.
And he loves
I remember that feller.
The Grease film. I was not a huge fan.
Well, this is a very personal film for John Gleiser. It was based on true events surrounding the death of Harry Stein, who was...
Before the death of Harry Stein and It's My Party, you know how like sometimes some business is transacted, but some business is ongoing and old? The new business, and before I get to my new business, I like to clear out my old business, and we have a little bit of old business on this show.
Oh, some housekeeping.
Yes. So last time in the Love, Cheat, and Steal, you know how I like to watch the movies more than once. One of the things I noticed that I forgot to mention was that I liked how John Lithgow at his house, he and his wife, Magiconomic, they had all the dust covers on the furniture. And I just seemed like something maybe John Lithgow's character would actually do.
That was a detail that you didn't want to lose.
Yeah, I liked it. Also, the movie Zonderlee. Have you ever heard of this movie?
No.
It features music by Pray for Rain, and I really wanted to recommend it to any listeners who haven't seen it. It's a film that stars Nicolas Cage and Judge Reinhold, and it's a love triangle movie with a woman character named Zonderlee, and it takes place in the sultry South. And oh gosh, Nicolas Cage is playing a part that could very well have been played by Eric Roberts in very Nicolas Cagey fashion, but it had music by Pray for Rain, kind of a Nicolas Cage doing a softcore porn, pre-Oscar win but post-Oscar nomination for Moonstruck when he was an A-list actor, more or less.
Wow.
Like coming up, like it's a weird, people think see, this is the thing about Nicolas Cage. People think he used to be this actor who made good movies and was respectable, and now makes like 1 trillion movies a year and they're all crap. And every once in a while one's actually kind of decent. But The truth is, he's always made like 1 in every 12 movies was good, and the rest are all crap or crazy. And today he still is doing the same percentage of good movies, 1 in 12, but now he makes 12 movies every year. So you really have to hunt out that one.
Yeah. So what year was this one from that you're talking about?
Oh, Zonderlee is probably from 91, 92.
Oh yeah, so Reinhold is kind of
fading. Maybe at his
the
I believe he might be one of the producers of the film.
Yeah, the Reinhold-essence hadn't started yet with the Santa Claus.
And one more piece of housekeeping is that we reported that Edson made himself scarce when Eric Roberts was making love to that woman on that car hood.
Is he in the car watching?
He was in the car watching.
Okay.
A viewer or a listener named Murray let us know that, the same one that let us know about Timer getting away, that in fact Richard Edson was in the car really creepily watching upon review.
Well, I appreciate the listener participation. You know, we're two guys who are only human. Our memories do fail us sometimes.
Yes, and I feel like I was watching that film in very poor resolution. The still I was sent of Richard Edson looked so much better than whatever I was looking at, but then it was it was the same YouTube file, so whatever.
Well, how was the resolution for you for this film, It's My Party?
Great.
Did you download a copy of it?
Yes, I did get it through nefarious means.
Oh,
clandestine means.
I had seen it on YouTube with subtitles, and it looked like it looked horrible.
No, this movie's readily available clandestinely in a very nice version.
Okay. Well, I think you had sent me the link to the YouTube one, so I feel misled.
Oh, really? Well, I don't think I did.
So this film...
maybe I did a long time ago.
I didn't really look up any info about it until after I watched it. So the whole time I was under the impression that it was a made-for-TV film.
No, this is a big confusion, and I'll explain why if you don't. Go ahead.
Well, it was a movie that came out in theaters.
Yes, it was an indie kind of movie, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was, it just has the production quality of a made-for-TV film. So I didn't know if you had any more tidbits.
I was going to say that I just watched last night in preparation for this, the movie that I conflate this movie with, which is a TV movie and a much higher budget movie, it seems like, and the band played on from a few years earlier.
I was going to say the Ryan White story.
I don't know. This is the story of, do you remember And the Band Played On?
I sure do, yeah.
It's another ensemble film with a strange, large cast. It almost you can really see how I conflated the two. They're both about AIDS, and the Band Played On is several years older and has higher production quality, but was a TV movie, and I think that may be why you thought this was a TV movie. I thought And the Band Played On was going to be a movie about Matthew Modine dying and having a party. So I really did conflate these two movies when I watched it. And the Band Played On is not about that. It is about the early days of AIDS research.
What's the film directed by Friedkin? It's not And the Band Played On, is it?
Which one?
Friedkin made a dark AIDS film, I thought.
I don't know.
Not Cruising, it's something else, but no, I mean The Boys in the Band.
I've never seen that. I didn't even know about that movie at all.
I think it's pre-AIDS, but
nice.
Yeah, Boys in the Band and the Band Played On, you kind of get it confused easily.
Sure. The Fabulous Baker Boys.
A very gay film. Yeah, so let's keep rolling here a little bit with this.
Yeah.
Strange. First thing I would like to point out, this is an Opala production, as I saw in the credits.
What does that mean? Is that a Chevy?
Well, there is a character in the film that is named Opala.
Whoa.
Yeah, a canine character.
Ah.
And as I said, this is a film that Harry Stein wrote and directed, and it's about his ex-lover. Kleiser. John Kleiser's ex-lover was Harry Stein. This is one of those alphabetical order opening credits.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about any of the people in this cast?
How do you feel about the alphabetical order thing?
I feel
it's always weird.
Nah, I don't really. The order is always weird. I kind of like when the movies have a weird order, and it's always fun to delineate, because when they have the weird order, you know that they didn't want to put the main guy's name first on the poster. And if you know who the main guy is in this movie,
Roberts is the star of this film.
Yes, he is not the first billed person in the cast, but he is easily the lead of the movie, yes.
The first billed person in the cast is Margaret Cho.
Yes, who has a sizable role, but she is not the person for whom it's his or her party, and it is not, she is not the protagonist of the film either.
No. And we have Bruce Davison.
Yes.
We have Lee Grant.
Yes, who is named after two Civil War generals, as well.
Yeah, Marley Matlin,
yes.
Roddy McDowell,
and you know that when you hire Lee Grant, you hire two Civil War generals. When you hire Marley Matlin, you hire two people, because you have to get the translator or the person to teach everyone sign language, right, and stuff, and a lot of Marley Matlin in this movie.
We have Olivia Newton-John in there.
Playing the Phil Collins role. No, and the Band Played On. Phil Collins was in it for a minute. I was thinking she's his counterpart.
Phil Collins was, he acted in a film?
He's in And the Band Played On. He may be in more than one movie.
I don't know if I've ever seen him act.
He might be in The Wall or something, or Quadrophenia, or one of those kind of movies.
Bronson Pinchot.
And not Sally Kirkland. But Sally Kellerman.
Sally Kellerman. Now, I was going to ask if you spotted her in this.
Yes.
Because I must have blinked and missed her.
She's in a blink and you'll miss it role. She's in some doorway talking to Roberts at some point. She might not be someone at his party. She might be someone who he deals with before the party, or at that party in the beginning where he has the party, and I don't know, maybe Greg Louganis is at that party. I really missed. There was somebody in the end credits, you see that Greg Louganis was in the movie. He's the person I missed.
Oh, yeah, I missed him too. I can't really remember what he looked like anyways.
There's an actor in this film named Paul Regina that plays Tony Zamora, and he's a writer-director. He plays the guy, the doctor, who is helping. He's the friend who is helping out with the whole party and everything and getting everything in. He didn't do too many roles as an actor after this, but he had an extensive, not an extensive, he wrote 4 things that got made pretty much all after this. And the last thing he got made posthumously 5 years after his death in 2011. He died in 2006. A movie called Jesse, that stars Eric Roberts.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll get to Regina here in a minute, because I had a question about his character.
Did I think he was the lover of Eric Roberts for a long time in the movie? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
So it's a film with a big cast, and it's a film about Brandon and Nick. Nick, who is played by Eric Roberts, who is pretty much the star of the film. And when we first find
the other
them,
guy, we didn't even mention the other guy who's the second lead in the movie. Is
you have to dig a bit to get to this guy, which is funny.
He's the star of Razorback.
Ooh.
If you recall.
Yeah, Gregory Harrison plays Brandon.
The film Razorback.
And it looks like he has a pretty big resume of stuff, including Falcon Crest, a lot of TV work.
It seems like he's maybe not quite as big as Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
Of a star.
Who did you buy more as a homosexual character?
Maybe Daniels what's this guy's name? Gregory Daniels? Gregory Harrison.
Yeah.
My bad. Just because he doesn't really play it homosexual in any way, so there's not any way to really attack it as a performance of homosexual. There's a flamboyance and campiness or something to the way that Eric Roberts is kind of playing what would be pejoratively termed a flamer.
Yeah, he's using his
not to an extreme,
natural flamboyance and kind of channeling it into this little more of an arch.
Which is not to say that I thought Eric Roberts was bad in the movie. I thought they were both good in the movie. I thought Eric Roberts was fine.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. He reads a little more gay to me in this, I think, between the two characters.
Okay.
Yeah, Brandon kind of reminded me of old Randall Kleiser a little bit.
Yeah, he's a director.
Yeah, he's a filmmaker in this story. And Roberts' character is an architect who at one point was an artist. And so the story starts off...
So Roberts is an architect in it, not an artist. I didn't even really get that.
Yeah, he's designed some houses and stuff.
I was confused at the end when they go to that house. I thought maybe he had some art in a house another guy designed. Okay, so Roberts is successful on his own in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought he had struggled to get by and had mystery money from his family or something. Okay. All right, I see.
I think he's done okay as an architect.
Wow, okay.
So these guys have been together for a couple years, and we first...
kind of don't buy that. That's what I don't buy. It's just that his character made it as an architect.
Yeah. You don't think a homosexual man can be an architect?
I don't think based on his acting and stuff that he went through college to be an architect. He doesn't, I don't think that guy's an architect. I think that...
You think he majored in dancing?
Yeah, it's like his art all sucks. That's one of the best running gags in the movie is that, and no one likes his art.
Developed.
Like that's one, like people, anytime like they show his art, nobody knows what to make of it. They all make a joke out of, what is this? Well, I don't know. I don't get it. And then like he shows up and they're like, it's great. And that was one of the things of the movie I enjoyed. I don't see this guy becoming a big success as an architect after he's failed as an artist.
Well, there was some confusion for me over his ethnicity because in the beginning when he and Brandon are moving into this house together.
Well, in true Final Analysis fashion, I believe he's half Greek.
Yeah, his character is half Greek, half Jewish, which explains George Segal as his father.
As Elliot Gould as his father.
So there's some there's some Cuban music playing or some kind of salsa music playing in the beginning, and there's some dancing, and then there's an aunt who has an accent. So for a minute there I was confused over, is Roberts playing another Cuban, like he did in The Specialist? But then there's mention of this food called spanakopia,
Yeah.
which I recognize because
You know a Greek person.
I know some Greek people.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it started to become more clear. And so Lee Grant, who plays Roberts' mother, is here in this opening scene.
Yes.
And she's got a slight kind of Greek accent, which she kind of fades in and out.
What do you know
film.
Lee Grant from?
Well, I know her from Network, and I know her from Defending Your Life.
Okay.
I'm sure she's been in 100 other things.
I watched
Very
The
striking, that
Super
Lee Grant.
with her. I'd never seen it. The Hal Ashby movie
Oh,
with Bo Bridges.
yeah. What is it? The Landlord?
The Landlord. I'm sorry. It's not called The Super. It's called The Landlord. You're right.
How did you like that film?
I did not care for it.
Yeah, the older I get, the less I care for the Ashby, but we'll always be like a massive fan of Last Detail.
I was just about to ask because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I just recommended it to somebody, to a listener of this program, Elston Gunn. I recommended he watch that movie, because he'd never seen it, and I was like, oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it's in my top 10 probably. So this is one of those films where the credits just keeps dipping in and out of the opening credits for what feels like 10 minutes. And you get this very annotated opening that just runs through this relationship with these two guys. There's a surprise birthday party for Brandon.
They live in the Hollywood Hills.
They live in the hills. Brandon is given some horses for his birthday.
Do you think they were gay horses? I don't know the answer, but I do know they weren't the only two studs in this movie.
Ooh, that's true. Well, one of the horses was a lady, and I think the other was a guy. I forget the horses' names. But that does, I mean, they still could be gay.
Do you think the lady horse was Eric Roberts' horse?
Someone will watch this and let us know, I'm sure.
Which one was which? Okay.
I like that we have our boys in the field out there for us to help us with intel. So we get some nice horse riding stuff that happens, and just some like good, blissful relationship moments. They're like watching movies together. They're watching Annie Hall at one point in bed together.
Gregory Harrison is a movie maker,
right?
And what's his face? I don't know what the hell the character's name of Eric Roberts is, but Nick, he's a real movie buff. He knows all the old movie quotes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Probably better than we do. He should host a podcast. Oh wait, he passed away 25 years ago.
Spoiler alert.
Oh wait, yeah. Does he die or not?
Well,
we'll see.
We'll get to that.
We'll see.
So we get to the 4-minute mark of the film, and old Brandon comes home.
Yeah.
With some good news that he's going to go to England for a shoot for work, and Roberts looks pretty troubled on the couch, and we hear a classic Roberts line where he looks at him and he says, "I got it." So 4 minutes into the film, we find out Nick is HIV positive, and then he's in treatment, but he remains cheerful. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of a character thing that runs throughout the whole movie, is he's a very positive guy.
Yes.
In more ways than one. He's a cheerful character. And then at the 5-minute mark is when the relationship problems start.
Oh yeah.
They're going to have intimacy problems because of what's going on.
This is you got to remember, this is 1996 and this is released, and medicine is not what it is now. So they're basically not having sex. I don't know what. I'm sorry. They're not making love at all, and no. I think that Gregory Harrison is maybe tempted by a young hustler or something.
Yeah, he drives by a street posse.
Eric
Big
Roberts.
Buff guy.
Oh yeah.
You like be peering into his car windows. He drives by.
You like to party?
Brandon comes home from one of his trips abroad, and there's a big party going on at the home.
Some full frontal male nudity.
Yeah.
And it was at this point I thought,
skinny dipping.
Male nudity and Margaret Cho. Can this movie get any better?
Yeah, we haven't met Cho yet, but
we saw her name in the credits.
No, actually, we do meet her when they're moving. I think
she's at this party.
In the beginning.
Or no, she's at the party earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We definitely saw her already.
Yeah, we've met Cho. So
how'd you like
Brandon,
Cho in this movie?
I thought it was the best thing I've ever seen her in.
Yeah, I thought she was really naturalistic in this movie, and quite good.
Yeah, I couldn't name another film that she's been in.
Shoot, offhand, I can't. I just remember her sitcom. I know she's in other stuff, but I can't really think of anything. I didn't even remember her being in this. I just remembered her sitcom. She had like a one-woman
famous
show
comedian
or something.
So yeah, this is a big fun party with a lot of. We have some some drag queens there. We have some skinny dipping going on. Brandon's not having it at all. He calls them freaks.
Margaret Cho's not one of the girls in 4 Rooms, is she?
I don't remember.
In the slumber party? Probably not. It's like Marissa Tomei and some chicks, right, or something. Go ahead. I'm just going to do that quick.
Oh, she was in Face Off.
Oh, yes. She was the one who asks if Archer got the stick pulled out from his anus.
The Doom Generation.
Oh, yeah. I started that movie and turned it off. I've never made it through a Greg Araki film, I don't think.
17 again. Yeah, she's been in a few things, but mostly known for television and for stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I remember the sitcom for sure. So I watched some of that. Not a big fan.
Right. She's good in this.
Yes.
So yeah, this party is kind of the big turning point in their relationship where they basically call everything off, and that's when it's like, they both live in this house together, but they refuse to leave. Things descend into acrimony, and now reminded that the credits are still going through all of this.
I forgot.
I mean, they go for a long time. Yeah, they start to fight over belongings, splitting things up. They both seem to have new boyfriends, or so it seemed to me. I mean, Brandon shows up with some kind of young assistant, and then this you called him a doctor, right? The Regina guy?
Yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, I thought he was a doctor.
He's around hanging out in the house
I don't know.
While they're going through this kind of cruel, harsh breakup.
He just works at a drugstore.
Finally, it's Roberts who moves out, and he's kind of heartbroken because he designed the house that they're living in.
I've kind of missed that detail. I thought he was saying something like that he straightened out all of Harrison's finances or something.
He did that as well.
Okay,
yeah.
I caught that, but not that he designed the house. Well, that makes him more of a substantial character.
So old Roberts throws his last belongings into the car, and he loses their dog. Brandon gets to keep the dog, whose name is Opala, which is I guess we should look up what Opala is. Oh, never mind. They do mention what it means. We'll get to that later. It's a Hawaiian word.
It sounds almost like Opa.
I know, I thought it was Greek, and then I was reminded that they do say that it was a Hawaiian thing. Yeah, so there's another classic Roberts line here as he's leaving. He says to Brandon, he said, you should never cross a Greek. We're fair, but we are merciless. That stuck with me. Had to write that one
Final
down.
and out. Maybe that was an outtake line from taken out line from Final Analysis, and he was, hey, I played a Greek guy before. I got an idea.
A year goes by.
Wow.
And Roberts' character seems to be doing fine health-wise. He looks good. He's getting ready to go to the gym, and he's just very forgetful. He's forgetting his keys. He gets to the gym. He's late. This is the Regina guy, right? That's at the gym. So they're going to work out together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hollywood
then
gym.
Roberts...
Well, like I would go to before mine closed.
Roberts shows off some of his physique in this scene.
All-male gym where the guys hang out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I like.
That's kind of your scene, right?
Yes. Never felt more comfortable going to a place for 5 years.
With your mask on, of course.
I never went when they was open with the mask on.
Oh.
Now it closed for good. I would go with my mask on if they allowed me now, but it's closed.
It's gone.
Hollywood rent too high. It's right by the Cinerama Dome. And they're both closed.
So this in this scene here, old Roberts, he's clumsy as well. He's forgetful. He's clumsy. He goes to pick up a dumbbell and drops it. He loses his temper. He chucks it into a mirror.
Take it easy, and he smashes that mirror.
Yeah. So he goes to a different doctor.
Boy, he's jacked.
And he finds out that he is addicted to steroids. No, he finds out that there is a complication of the AIDS virus called PML.
Yes.
It's a brain disease that develops.
What's it called? Progressive memory loss or something?
I don't think it's
they
memory loss.
They never tell you, which I appreciated. I did not look it up.
Yeah, we don't need to look it up. I'm
gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
I want to
know. We should look it up.
It is called progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. Leukoencephalopathy.
Wow.
Leukoencephalopathy.
It attacks your
progressive
memory.
Multifocal leukoencephalopathy.
It also is affecting his vision.
Yeah, multifocal. This is all blurry. Nice.
Yeah. We get some crazy POV camera work later on in the story.
Yeah.
But this stuff moves fast, and Roberts basically finds out that he doesn't have much time at all before he's going to degenerate into, well, he's already degenerated in some sense, right? But
yeah, but it's good. Apparently, it's
it's
progressive, and so it's just going to get worse and worse. And then he knows in maybe like a few days, like a week or something.
Like that's scary. Imagine being diagnosed with that.
Yeah, it's like you're just going to get crazy and he's kind of been prepared for it as a possible thing that people get, I guess. I didn't know much about it.
I had never heard of it.
Me neither. It seems almost like what was the thing that Nicolas Cage's character gets in the movie Dark, blinding by the light or whatever. The Paul Schrader's movie that was taken away, then he remade on his own or recut.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage does not have AIDS, but he gets a like rapid memory loss, kind of progressive memory loss, kind of crazy thing, and it's really crazy.
Well, it's scary stuff, but his character being as upbeat as he is, he kind of takes it in stride. He realizes that he needs to make a plan fast because he doesn't plan on living out the rest of his life in that state. It's kind of in a vegetative.
No, he's had kind of this plan. If this happened, he was going to do this. I feel like,
yeah,
which is to plan a party, have all his loved ones show up at his house, and then commit suicide at the end of the party.
Yeah, and so at this point he goes into the planning thing of who he's going to invite. A lot of his friends that he would have invited are dead.
Wow, so many. I mean, you know, for some people this is really going to resonate, but as a cold-hearted man, I had a snicker at like, this guy's got a lot of dead friends, and I thought about it. I was like, man, this is really a scourge that affected a lot of people. This has really killed so many people. Mm-hmm. Sad stuff. Funny.
So he calls his ex-boyfriend. He calls Brandon, and there's some kind of argument over the phone where he basically tells Brandon what's happening and that doesn't have long at all. Brandon doesn't plan to come to the party.
No, he's planning to go out of country for vacation or to shoot a commercial or something.
Yeah, he's going to shoot something in Australia. So it's here that Brandon has a little flashback, the first of a few flashbacks that he has during the film. And he flashes back to a mutual friend that he and Roberts' character had.
Oh, yes.
Who had advanced HIV and was planning on ending his life to overdose on Seconal. Mm-hmm, and so he asks Brandon and Nick to come and clean and arrange his body the next day after he's taken his life. This is a crazy scene.
This part was crazy. Yeah, things took a turn for the crazy. So they get there, right? And he's like, you want to go in? And he's like, sure. And are you ready for this? And Roberts is the more gung-ho about this in this part as well.
Yeah, again, pretty positive.
Yeah, he's pretty positive about this, and he looks at this, you know, you can tell he's very comfortable with his friend's decision. Yeah. And then they go up there, and the guy's left 3 notes or something like that, right?
Yeah, next to his body.
Which I found, I guess, you know, everybody's different. He maybe couldn't find the time to say the things he wanted to, even though he knew he was going to die. I was thinking about that. One of my favorite lyrics just to ponder over in a song is that song, She's a Wild Child or whatever by Lou Reed, where he says, suicides don't need notes. Do you remember that? Do you remember that lyric?
I don't know. It's good.
The way suicides don't need notes, then we talk to the rain. Always back to the rain.
Well, they go into his room and they discover that he's not fully dead.
This was a surprise moment. They
he's
murdered
kind of
this
snoring,
guy.
you know? Like, it doesn't even seem like he is like in between life and death, you know? Like, it doesn't really seem like he's a vegetable, but I guess he is.
I have no idea.
Well, they have this conversation where Roberts is like, he's most definitely going to have brain damage at this point from all that he took. And then he's like, I read that that you have to take a plastic bag and suffocate the person.
Oh yeah, then what's his? He goes to find a plastic bag like from the trash, and Gregory Harrison finds a dry cleaning bag, and it's like, this one's better. And he's like, yeah.
So is it Gregory Harrison that does it?
Good question. I don't remember.
Now.
I don't remember now which one of them does it, but I did like the little both going like.
In my notes here it says Brandon finishes him off.
Okay, there you go.
hopefully I was referring to the murder. So
Sorry.
yeah, they take the guy's life. So I mean, that's not legal.
No, but that means they're in it together for life now. They're murderers.
Yeah, they have that bond now. I think right after this, we pretty much fly into the party.
Yes, and this is, I think, around when maybe it's when Gregory Harrison shows up, and he has their play the Robert Palmer Bad Case of Loving You.
Yeah,
And I felt like this song had played a lot of a few at least kind of iconically gay songs or something. And I was like, is Robert Palmer's I Got a Bad Case of Loving You iconically gay? And I didn't get it. Then I thought, oh wait, he got a bad case from loving you.
Now, is that how the lyrics really go?
No, but that's how
Okay.
I guess, like, I got a bad case of loving. You get AIDS from loving, and
Whoa.
it's a bad case of AIDS.
I mean, do you think that was the...
I think so. Well,
Wow.
in any case, it's a great song to me. I think if it's worth putting in, no matter what your reasoning was, whether it was that it's big in the club scene with the gays, or whether it has symbolic lyrical messages, I believe, or you just enjoy the song as I do.
It makes me think about Dr. Pepper, a soda I know you're not a big fan
Yeah.
of, but I enjoy as a treat
than
from time
no.
to time. Yeah, it was in some Dr. Pepper commercials in the 80s and 90s.
The movie had a big soundtrack budget.
Yeah, and so there were some clues that began to pop up that kind of made me start to question whether or not this was a made-for-TV film. And the soundtrack was one of them. Maybe that crazy flashback. I mean, something about that didn't seem like that they would make that on a TV film. I don't know.
I think
It's
that
here-
to me, like to me, just the general vibe of the movie as it goes on is where it's all a party movie. Just kind of doesn't seem like like how low budget it is and how in scope just doesn't feel like a TV movie.
Yeah, I saw it, like I said, on much poorer quality.
Yeah, just how little happens in the movie. Feels like that only happens in a full-length movie. They never, or in a theatrical film. They never make TV movies that are that like indie.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, think about everything that happened in Love, Cheat, and Still.
Exactly. And this movie probably
Sucker
had a
was
higher
chock
budget,
full
or
of
same, maybe lower,
plot
I don't know.
developments.
It also seemed like maybe marketing soundtracks was big then, and I think they have an original Olivia Newton-John track on here, and they have an original track by Milla Jovovich as Melia. I didn't really give it a listen. She's not in the film as an actor, but I did want to mention that I like the movie Cymbeline, based on the Shakespeare play but reset in modern times, and in it she plays the queen or some such, and she at some point sings in a bar. She sings a cover of Bob Dylan's song Dark Eyes, and I really wish I could just find some track of her playing that song all the way through. It's really pretty and maybe the best version of that song I've heard, but you can only hear it muddled in with that scene in the movie.
Well, another song I would like to bring up that was like an old favorite of mine and is kind of an iconic gay song from an iconic gay group is this song Chains of Love by the group Erasure.
I don't really know the song. Maybe if you hum it a little bit for me.
Well, it's a techno pop song from the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just a very euphoric sounding song. I can't really sing it, but this is a song that always used to play at the skating rink, the roller skating rink in the town we grew up in. And I don't know if you frequented this skating rink.
Yeah,
all that
I've
often.
been there several times.
Well, those songs that they played in there in the later 80s, early 90s, they get seared into your brain.
I was usually there around 2014.
Yeah, so what would be like the big songs around that time? Maybe some Taylor Swift in there during her ascent.
Most I was in the parking lot.
Tying your skates.
You got your L7 and your 21 Pilots and 21 Savage and
21 Gex.
Amber Rose, Machine Gun Kelly.
So you don't have... Do you remember any songs from your youth of going to that skating rink?
I remember the big song was "Pour Some Sugar on Me."
Yeah, Love Shack was like the big
Oh yeah,
dance jam of 1989 from that big B-52s record that had a couple big songs on it.
sure. That song kind of has a gay feeling. That I don't know.
Yeah.
That song.
So during this party is when we meet Marlee Matlin, who plays... Yeah, Marlee Matlin,
Plays
Nick's
his
sister.
sister.
So Roberts gets to break out a little ASL here.
Yes, and this is where you got to think like, oh my gosh, Eric Roberts in his mind after 1996, when 1997's Oscar nominations roll around, who's the most disappointed boy on Christmas is Eric Roberts, because he made the bravest decision ever. He's playing a gay man dying of AIDS, committing suicide, who has a deaf sister with whom he communicates in sign language. Mm-hmm. And he's an artist. He's made the bravest choices an actor can make.
No love from the Academy.
No,
yeah,
you can't act
sad.
more.
He really tried his ass off. Roberts' mother is there, of course, Lee Grant, and everybody. Bronson Pinchot,
As his
character's
best
name
bud.
is Monty. And
Pretty much playing the worst guy on earth.
Yeah, just an endless stream of like corny one-liners.
Yes,
quips.
He knows a lot of movies quotes, but he's all bitchy, mean to everyone, keeps people apart, acts like that's his charm. Mm-hmm. Like, and I honestly, like he and Eric Roberts both just seem like terrible dudes to hang out with in this movie. Like I was thinking, like a guy throws himself this party as friends, Margaret Cho and stuff. Their group of friends. It's like it was a believable group of friends. This movie really did present to me a group of people who I kind of bought as people, but they were very vacuous kind of LA people that were pretty mindless except for their intimate knowledge of old movies. But it was like, I was almost not believable with how dumb this stuff was.
Brandon shows up at the party, and he's not wanted.
No one wants him there. This guy, it's the last days of his ex's life. He's shown up at the ex's party to wish him goodbye in life, and everybody is so mad at him. It just seems like what a dick move by everybody else.
See, I really believe this Regina guy. What's his first name?
Paul?
Yeah, I really think that he is Roberts' new lover.
No.
Because he's the one... Are you sure?
Yes. He's not his lover. They're just bros.
Okay.
And they make a point of the guy because Regina has a lover, and they bring him in later.
Well, Regina's the one who goes straight.
He's already around. He's just around now. There are three of them together right now, and it's like in there when they're doing the party, it's like Roberts, Regina, and a third guy, and the third guy is Regina's lover.
Okay, there you go.
Regina.
It's Regina who asks Brandon to leave.
Yeah.
Also, Marlee Matlin lets him know.
Yeah, and if they
as
would have
clear
known
as
their
she can
friend
say it.
so badly, they probably would have known he would have wanted him around. I appreciated the effort.
But Brandon doesn't leave.
No.
He pours a drink and he sticks around. He puts up with the
yes, he
with
does.
everyone telling him to go, but no one like actually forces him out. So he's like, I'm staying. It's around this time that we see Nick's art tribute that you mentioned earlier to all their friends who died of AIDS.
Oh, I was just thinking about his list of people when he was reading them off on the computer. Now,
there's
when he's thinking about who to invite. But now we see his art tribute. Yeah. Jeez, this is some fun stuff.
Yeah.
To all
and
the
he's
people
included
he knows.
himself.
Yes, but no photograph of himself yet. But it's a big wall of people he knows who AIDS has taken.
It's a crucifix.
Yes.
Which is pretty wild.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark. And then Olivia Newton-John is around in this party, and she has a teenage son.
Whom we saw as a little boy earlier at the earlier party where before the years passed when Nick and his boyfriend were together.
Yeah,
Nick and Brandon.
High times.
Yeah, we saw him as a little boy, and now he's a teenager, and he's a gay teenager. And I guess his dad is Bruce Davison, and his parents have split up. The dad is not comfortable with his son's homosexuality, even though he was comfortable with his friend Eric Roberts' homosexuality.
Yeah, and Roberts has been a mentor to this young man. So the young man is really, really upset that Roberts is going to die and that he's chosen to end his own life. And around this time, too, is when this big question starts to come in about suicide, and is this ethically right? Roddy McDowell shows up as some old aging queen who's very anti-suicide.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at first, Roddy McDowell, wow, he was going crazy. Then Bronson Pinchot was making fun of him in a crazy way, and I was like, man, it seems like he's just making fun of how Roddy McDowell is or something. Is this a performance? Aging Roddy McDowell is as gay as aging Tony Curtis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
without the gloves.
I think that little Roddy McDowell is probably actually supposedly homosexual, right? And
he was out.
Okay, and Tony Curtis claimed to be virulently heterosexual. He just go on and on about all of his conquests, and methinks the lady doth protest too much.
This was during this big, there's the assisted suicide question that was going on throughout the 90s.
Yeah,
with
man, we had a lot
Kevorkian.
of movies and stuff, right? Like there's that One True Thing with Meryl Streep and Renee Zellweger, and
eventually a Kevorkian film.
Yes, You Don't Know Jack, which is on my to-watch list on HBO, but I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it either.
I could imagine that being pretty good.
I believe Kevorkian is now dead. But yeah, this was a thing. We grew up in the Bible Belt, so there's a lot of question over this sort of stuff, and I think there was a lot of fear that this was going to be rampant by the current year, that suicide by choice would just be like an easy thing that you could do, and it seemed like it never really took off as like a huge deal.
Maybe people just turned to suicide by cop.
I mean, people still have to be doing this. It's just not in the news that much.
Sure. Maybe it became less controversial, and maybe people are doing it more than ever.
Maybe so, but I don't know anybody that's ever done it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm planning on it next week.
Well, I was going to ask you, Roy. That's
how
kind
my
of a
AIDS
personal.
Is going? Go ahead.
I mean, if you were in a condition like this that was going to degenerate super fast, I mean, what would your options? Would you do something like this?
I would not have a party like this. I would contact the people I'd like to talk to separately.
Would you choose to take your own life?
Maybe. Hard to say. I'm not there yet. Depends on what I was looking at.
I mean, another thing that Roberts' character says is he doesn't want to put people through this.
Like this makes it, like the way he's doing it here, his party thing is pretty wacky. I would not do this. But the way he's going out it's like he's going to be a vegetable in 4 days or something like that. That's pretty crazy, normal to vegetable state. That might be worth a suicide, and if you can slide right in that moment like he is, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough call. When your brain goes, that's when I say I don't know what I'd do anymore. I'd put up with almost any part of my body going except for my brain, and then I can't tell you what I would do.
Mm-hmm. It's around this time, too, that we start to see Roberts' eyesight is really starting to go.
Oh, yeah.
He's not able to make people out unless they're very close to him.
Did his pappy show up yet?
Yeah, I think, there's a gift-giving scene where Roberts hands out some gifts to people.
Oh, yeah, that's later. His dad comes before that, right?
His dad shows up during this scene, or right around this time.
Yeah, and his dad is George Segal playing Elliot Gould.
Yeah, who's a guy who supposedly had alcohol problems.
Yes, and then gets drunk at the party.
And then he pours himself a big old highball.
Yeah.
And starts sucking it down.
And Lee Grant, they have an acrimony too. Lee Grant and George Segal as his parents, they don't get along at all.
Yeah, and so there's this intercut thing of Nick's mother and father arguing, George Segal and Lee Grant arguing over
who turned him gay.
Wait, I forget what they were arguing over, freeing the slaves or something like that.
Oh shit! I guess I thought I guess they argue about that later. I don't remember.
No, just a callback to the Lee Grant joke.
Oh, my bad.
But it's intercut with there's a scene where everyone's just smoking a joint, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, they're smoking a doobie.
People are chilling. Margaret Cho's chilling. They're kind of talking, and it's intercut with Segal and Lee Grant arguing, and then Pinchot. And he starts to attack Brandon again, and he's getting really nasty this time, and they get into an argument, and Brandon leaves this time. I think he says goodbye to Roberts, kind of briefly, and he's pretty drunk, and he gets in his car and takes off.
Yeah.
And there's a pretty funny scene of him driving. He's having some flashbacks of when they were happy together, and then he just starts to scream all crazy.
This is where we get where he was
and
skiing?
Accelerate.
They're skiing?
There was a flashback to a really idyllic ski trip. That happened earlier. Olivia Newton-John gives Eric Roberts a scarf, and it triggers this memory of a nice ski trip that they had. And Brandon goes home, and he throws on the TV. It's Night of the Hunter. It's the scene where Shelley Winters is dead in the car at the bottom of the lake.
One time I took a
river.
lady home from a Christmas party, a girl I was dating, and we made love on without taking off all of her clothes. And the next year on Christmas, I wore the scarf I was wearing to that Christmas party to Christmas dinner, and I looked down and realized the scarf had crusted semen on it from that previous Christmas year.
Did you instantly get aroused?
Yeah,
You saved that for later?
Yes, no, I did get instantly aroused.
Damn, Roy. We're getting deep in this episode.
Yeah.
So, you've seen Night of the Hunter before.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of my faves.
It's one of my faves as well. But, this shot called into question, it could be from one of two movies, There are two great movies. In fact, three great movies where Shelley Winters meets an ignominious fate after playing a very annoying woman. But there are two
Did you
where
say
she
three?
ends... Yes. But there are two where she ends up in the drink like this. Because there's also A Place in the Sun, where Montgomery Clift pushes her out of the boat. And then there's this movie where Robert Mitchum gets her.
But she's in Lolita?
Yes, she's Lo's mom.
Well, she drowns in that as well, right?
She gets in a car wreck,
or
she gets hit by traffic in Lolita. Yeah, she finds out that Humbert has his journal. She deciphers his journal, and he's on the phone. Or something.
Yeah,
No, he's not on
I
the phone.
conflated it with Night of the Hunter.
Yeah, he goes upstairs. He's trying to explain
drown.
himself to her. Yeah, and she runs out in the street and gets hit by a car.
Is this you've read the book, right?
Like just recently, yeah.
Well, there's not a drowning in the book?
No.
Man, I swear to God that maybe in the Adrian Lynn one.
Nah.
Okay, I guess I'm just thinking about Night of the Hunter. I don't know.
Your own psychosexual fantasies.
Yeah, so old Brandon is watching this sequence from Night of the Hunter, and he starts to dream that he isn't down in the water swimming, and he's trying to save Roberts' character, Nick, and he's reaching out, and he can't save him, and he's sinking. So he wakes up the next morning, and he realizes that he's not going to go to Australia. He's going to go back for day 2 of the party.
Nice. And they're all having breakfast?
Yeah. It's a party that was supposed to, was going to be one night. Remember this? There was talk. Where it's like he was thinking about taking his life the first night, but he extended it because there's people coming from out of town or something like that.
And then the black dude shows up.
Yeah. So now we're
really
deep in a
huge
big
black dude.
Yeah. Now we're like big chilling, big time now.
Yeah, and yes.
Because everyone's hanging.
Yeah.
With music still pumping. We're having breakfast now.
Yeah, outside breakfast. Bronson Pinchot makes a comment about how bad his hair looks, and then it looks very bad. Elliot Gould, dad is hungover. Steven Seagal, George Segal.
Down Market Gould is hungover but around.
Being like, hey, I've just shot this pilot for the show Just Shoot Me. I'm like, I don't think it'll amount to anything.
They didn't ask me back for Look Who's Talking To, but
we didn't revisit that. It's been so long.
This day is sort of Roberts is having all of these final moments with everybody, with all of his loved ones, and he is remaining as indomitable as ever.
I guess this goes on into the night when everybody's like kind of bombing out, and he has that big speech, right? Are we to the night again yet?
We're almost there.
Yeah. I think in the day is when, like, in the morning or whatever, is when Olivia Newton-John and the kid bomb out or something.
Yeah, Bruce Davison comes around and
asks him advice about the kid.
Yeah, and Roberts tells him he's going to talk to him before Roberts leaves.
Davison gives him a sound thrashing for turning his son homosexual.
It's your fault.
Did they ever decide whose fault it was between his parents? No, I'm just kidding. Whose fault? Oh, I was going to ask you. That was one of my questions I wanted to ask. Whose fault did you think it was?
That made Olivia Newton-John's son?
No, that made Eric Roberts, when they had that argument.
Oh, Roberts' character?
Who do you blame?
It's got to be the Greek mother.
Turning you off, ladies.
You know, those Greeks, they invented this stuff.
What is, let's see. Oh, you're right. What about, there's one like pretty boy in the movie we see a lot at the party who's like another friend hanger-on guy, you know what I'm talking about? Who kind of talks some smack and stuff early on.
Yeah.
There's another prominent kind of pretty boy dude. I wanted to say that guy. This, I think, maybe was just his second movie. He's gone on to a long career in the movies and on stage. I think he's been on stage already a lot. But his only movie before this, I just recently watched again, one of the great all-time movies. He had a small role in 12 Monkeys.
What is this actor's name? Do you know?
Shoot, I'll look it up really fast. I'm sorry.
Is he a Hispanic character?
Yes, I believe so. His name is...
Felix Pyre?
Oh, yeah, I did write it down. I thought, yes, his name is Felix Pyre. I did write it. I thought that might have been his character's name in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, he's one of the drag queens. He's not in drag during the film, but it's mentioned. It gets kind of blurry during these daytime scenes. There's some more Bronson Pinchot being a bitch.
Yeah.
Roberts tries to schedule out all these little moments with everyone. He tells Olivia Newton-John that he loves her, and she seems to be like one of his long-time friends.
Yes.
He has a moment with her son, too, where he tells him, like, hey, you got to use protection. I forget what he says.
What do you think about his son's dancing, being scantily clad dancing in front of his boyfriend's band?
Yeah.
All right, that sounds like a good career move.
Yeah, I think so. There's a family dinner as we get into the evening.
Yes.
This is when everyone starts to leave.
Yeah, and there's that part where he has everyone gather around, right? Did you know this part? Like, I had a crazy thing happen. So everybody's listening to him to Eric Roberts talk to everybody when he's telling them all this, what he's going to do or something, right?
Yeah.
And one person in the crowd I didn't see in any scenes before was this really empathetic looking hippie. And I was like, do you remember who I'm talking about? This blonde guy with the glasses. I was like, it looks almost like Dennis Christopher.
I think I know. Yeah.
And then when everybody left that was supposed to leave, he was still around.
Uh-huh.
He was still around in the house, and he never had a line. And I'll be damned, it was Dennis Christopher.
It was Dennis Christopher. Yeah.
Yes.
From
such films as Breaking Away, Django Unchained, and the It TV movie, and also a movie called Fade to Black.
Yeah, you get, like with the Kellerman thing that I missed. I mean, this movie just will throw you some crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Dennis Christopher had a line. He must have been hard up, right? I don't know.
Yeah, Dennis Christopher, a good looking. He kind of looked like Beck when he was younger.
He was very good in the movie for having no lines. If you want to hire, he really looked. His face was so empathetic. He was really good. He stood out.
Classic.
Not for bad distracting reasons, but for damn, this guy. Maybe everybody should be taking acting lessons from Dennis Christopher.
Yeah. Well, so around this time is sort of there's these discussions about, well, the friends should start leaving now because it's going to be family time before. Yeah. Brandon is still lurking around, right? Mm-hmm. Or he shows back up. Yeah, he shows back up at some point in the next day. Margaret Cho leaves, so they have their little goodbye. Dude?
Sorry, back to Dennis Christopher. I had a dream a couple of nights ago. It's been a while since I watched this movie, but 2 or 3 nights ago, I had a dream that you had watched the movie and found more scenes where Dennis Christopher did have lines. It's an actual dream I had. There's no more to it than that. I saw part of the scene. It's part of these scenes.
Would your mind have been blown if I said that?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he was in it. And do you remember this scene and that scene?
Yeah, and I didn't remember them. Yes.
Yeah, I think you would have thrown up into the mic out of shock. Do you remember the Bronson goodbye?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of remained bitchy till the end with each other in their friendly way.
It's not very fun at all, friendly way, right?
Yeah, Pinchot has some tears.
Sing It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To in that one part.
Oh, yeah.
Is anything worse in a movie ever?
Well, see, my reading of the film was much different in that I thought the whole time that this Regina guy was
his new
Nick's
boyfriend?
lover, because so around this time, Robert says goodbye to his mother and father. It's really sad.
Because I think what they're assuming that you just assume, which I did not assume, but makes sense in a way, is that if Roberts was going to have another boyfriend, he would have just been having sex with Gregory Harrison. That's like maybe one step too much to assume for people. It's like maybe Gregory Harrison didn't want to have sex. Maybe his new lover did. Maybe his new lover already had AIDS. Maybe et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was really confusing. But no, like some point Gregory Harrison talks to the guy, Regina's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
They have a little back and forth.
Yeah, I missed that. And so...
And do we talk about Brad's boyfriend, the young guy?
Just a little bit that
okay.
Was an assistant.
There you go. And Roberts is bitchy about that a little.
Yeah, he took a shot at the kid's age and being young and stuff. And so now we get into the actual suicide ritual. And
well, first he talks to his dad. His dad doesn't stay for the end. His dad bombs out, and I liked that his dad did not want to talk to him in front, have his last conversation with his son in front of the AIDS wall, the AIDS crucifix. He was like, "Hey, can we go somewhere else and talk about this?" I was
right.
Like, yeah, I can understand how that would be a little distracting in your final moments with your son.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be confronted with his son's bad talent,
but
lack of talent.
When he talks to him and he tells him he's so proud of how he's handling his death and stuff, it reminded me of how proud Eric Roberts as Alex Grady was of his son Wayne Grady or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
or Mary Lou Retton.
Mary Lou Henner.
Yeah, it's Mary Lou Henner.
Is it Retton or Henner?
It's Retton.
Who's Henner?
Mary Lou Henner is a lady with Total Recall. She remembers everything she ever
Oh, the lady
did.
from Taxi?
Yes.
That's right. Well, let's talk about the suicide. Let's get into it, man.
Okay, so he's got a lot of shit lined up here. He's got some scotch and some blow and a bunch of Seconal.
Yeah.
I guess by three things he had three things. Maybe he had a cigarette too. I don't know.
I didn't really recall. There's a lot of goodbyes, of course. This is a movie of good.
We didn't bring up the big goodbye. That's I thought maybe one of the best moments of the movie. If you want to go for an emotional moment, is when and a moment where you actually liked Eric Roberts in his character. Where I liked his character. I really did not like his character in this movie. I found him to be an annoying person. But when he talked to Margaret Cho when she leaves, I thought that was the most touching part of the movie.
Yeah, see, I need you to refresh me on it.
He just tells her to cut her hair and how like it gives her advice on getting a man and just tries to make her feel beautiful one last time. He just talks her up. She's kind of I don't know, there's a deprecating phrase people would say about a woman that hangs out with a bunch of homosexuals, and in some ways it felt like a stereotype that was kind of a truism in this movie. This movie just kind of played it like it was real, and maybe it is, maybe it's not, I don't know. But yeah, Margaret Cho is that character, and she doesn't feel attractive, and you can see how it was very much like a kind of thing where you could see, I don't know, the Margaret Cho stuff in the movie works really well as kind of the sad friend who can't get a man or something, and as always.
She does mention in the joint smoking scene that she had lost like a lot of weight, and I think it was with Roberts' character. He cheerleaded her.
She's kind of the sad girl that's always hanging out with all gay dudes and wishes she had a boyfriend. And there's the part where they're the two, where the dog goes off between Gregory Harrison and Eric Roberts, and she says that bitch used to be between them, or that dog used to lie between them every night, lucky bitch. And they all laugh like she has like some sexual fantasies about them and stuff, because they're hot dudes and she never gets laid or something. And Eric Roberts, he gives her like a pep talk on how pretty she is and stuff, and I thought it was really sweet.
I recall it a little bit.
I thought it was his character's most winning moment. I wish they'd had something more like that in the beginning, where he really built someone up or something.
Well, people love him in this film.
Oh yeah, they sure do.
They're all there. Like he's supposedly a legend.
Like a terrible human being.
He's kind of a legend, but yeah, it's Roberts does his best to live up to that, but it's like you said, he's a little irritating.
Dennis Christopher is so empathetic. He'll show up at anyone's dying party.
Well, walk us through this
Oh wait, and
suicide.
you know what happened on the last morning though? Before he dies, there's the part where they do go to where that one dude shows up to take him to his architectural site, and he can't remember it. Well, we missed he and George Harrison of the Beatles. They talk it out at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
No, I just
Okay.
I want to get to the suicide.
Is that before or after they talk?
They have some moments, but this last day stuff to me is just so tedious. And
Yeah, they patch it up, right?
they basically patch it up, but
Did you explain what the dog's name meant?
yeah, they talk about the dog. So the dog's name is Opala.
Mm-hmm.
And they found it as a puppy. They were on a trip in Hawaii. They found it in
Nice.
a trash can,
Nice.
and it was left for dead in a dumpster or something. And Opala is Hawaiian for trash.
Ah, I remember that now.
Yeah. So he also says goodbye to the dog
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, the dog that he loved. And he reveals that he lives next door to their horses.
Oh
Forgot
yeah, that's
that.
right.
The horses are still together, have not been separated. And he tells the guys, like, hey, are you going to come feed the horses tomorrow? And he's like, or he's like, I'm going out of town. Can you watch the horses or something? And he's like, my friend will do it. So he puts his buddy on the spot there. But then again,
Yeah.
he doesn't give a fuck. Another rude thing Roberts does. He's going to die. And
You really get the feeling that neighbor guy had no idea this dude was
Yes.
ever gay. Hey, buddy, got your... I've been taking care of your horses.
this is the Hollywood Hills.
Had no idea you were dying of AIDS.
Yeah, I really got the feeling he had no idea if he was dying of AIDS. I don't know about gay or not, but it definitely felt like he had no idea. That was kind of the thing. That was cool. That was a good moment. And then, but before or after that one, there's the part where they're going to go to that architectural thing, and Eric Roberts can't remember why they would go there.
Yeah, his
It's
memory's starting
he
to...
designed it, and Gregory Harrison explains to him in a polite way. He's like, oh, you want to see the work you did on that house? Yeah, we'd love to go. And it kind of saves him from being embarrassed, and Eric Roberts
Right.
acknowledges that they're kind of falling into like, oh, he does love me. Look at him save me. Look at him when I'm floundering here.
Yeah.
I'm drowning, and he's making me more graceful. That was nice. That was kind of Gregory Harrison's big moment, other than just continue to show up with so much abuse.
like the dream, he dives down, but in this time he spiritually grabs him and pulls him out.
Yeah, and he says like that they have a big fight about like who drove who away, who broke up with who.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Okay,
Well,
so
I
now
was
we
getting
get to
ahead of myself
So now we get to the suicide.
because all I care about is suicide.
Yeah, this setup was pretty crazy.
You know,
So
they
he
say
goes
suicide
upstairs
is
with his buddy.
painless.
It brings on many changes. Really just one.
Yeah, I want you to talk about this, everything that's involved in this, the
Okay, so
scotch and the blow.
and he's got cocaine, and he's got secanols, and
A lot of secanols.
Yeah, a lot
A
of pills.
cartoonish amount.
Yeah, which is probably a good idea if you really
Does he
want
take
to die.
the blow first?
He throws the blow away.
Oh, I thought he took
He
line.
puts the line. Maybe he does, but I don't think so. Maybe he did, but I think he had that line out and then he just slides it away. Which I would think that blow would like interfere with seconal. That's what somebody told me.
Yeah,
That would not work
maybe he
well.
wanted one line just to try and stay lucid while it drug him down super fast, but
Yeah, maybe like it's like
that's gonna be a panicky way to go.
But the
I think.
worst way, yeah, like I was told it would still kill you, but it would be a craziness. But the worst thing though for it is that there's the scotch, because that might make you throw it up or something, right?
Well, if you drink enough scotch, yeah. Probably
Yeah,
want to
taking
wash
it
it
all
down
down
with some good old ice water.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, already a lot of pills are going to be crazy on your stomach, I would imagine. It's like just throw even a reasonable amount of scotch, the amount of scotch to wash those things down.
Yeah, I mean, you would just
like,
have to.
I feel like that. I mean, I don't know how much he was drinking those days.
Yeah, a glass of scotch is not going to do anything really. I mean, you're
Might to
already
me.
taking 2 fists of Seconal.
Well, I'm just saying, 2 fists of seconal plus scotch in your tummy.
Yeah,
You can't
it's
see
gonna
that as
upset
a
your
recipe
tummy.
for a big, swallowing all those pills at once is a lot of swallow. It's a lot of weirdness going on. I could see my tummy just all of a sudden being like, hey, you know what I don't like that you just did? Everything. And
Yeah, but I
just the
think
immediate
just
puke up.
if I just took the Seconal, I think my stomach would be like, "Hey, scotch or no scotch? This is weird.
Oh, sure.
I'm evacuating."
But yeah, the liquor to me, like in the warmth of the scotch and stuff, yeah, I don't drink very often. So to me, it's like it's really more touch and go. I guess there's not much sugar in the scotch, so it's probably not that bad. But yeah, I would still say it's probably not the best. Water is probably what you want.
So he takes it. He goes into this little sitting room.
Milkshake.
There's a fire and a fireplace. His mother is there, I believe. Marley Matlin is there. Dr. Regina. Now this, again, back to my confusion. When Nick starts to lose consciousness, when he starts to get really sleepy, Brandon kind of comes and usurps the whole thing, because it's Regina who is going to help him into bed and be the one that's going to take care of him. But Brandon kind of swoops in and is the one that does it. He's the one that takes Nick to bed and tells him, he's like, let's lay down and all that stuff. I kind of had to laugh because of my confusion during the movie.
You thought
I was
he
like,
was
damn,
just
this dude straight
right
up.
at the end.
Yeah.
Just
this
really,
dude's straight up stealing the moment.
Yeah, that's funny. No, it was confusing for sure. That was a really confusing thing in the movie.
And this was very sad. Roberts is, like I said, very sleepy at this point, and he's starting to fade very fast. And Brandon just starts to talk about that memory that they had of going on the ski trip, and he's telling him, you remember how cold the snow was, but how warm the sun was, and he's bringing back all this stuff, and then that's the movie.
Sunrise, sunset.
Roberts falls asleep forever.
And then we see them on the ski lift go away or something, or we're going down a slalom or slope, on skis, and now they're out. However, this was two reasons we picked this movie to do. I want to notice. One, it was requested early on. We had a listener named Scrash who requested that we do this movie. And number two, we've done so many where they've been violent. I think all of the movies we've done were violent movies. And this was a chance to do a movie that wasn't so violent or violent at all. Also playing against type. Other than Alex Grady, this is the only time we've seen Roberts play against type so far.
Yeah, there was a little bit here that I thought was kind of cool. It says, as there was only a small budget for this movie, cast and crew members made use of their own things to meet the story's needs. Director Randall Kleiser used his own house and pool for the scene set in Brandon's home.
Makes sense.
Eric Roberts provided his own white horse to ride in flashback scenes. Lee Grant used a favorite coin ring for her character's gift, and Sally Kellerman brought her own dog.
Funny.
Yeah, Roberts provided his own horse.
Yeah, but Kellerman provided her own dog and Lee Grant's corn ring. How much were they helping out the budget there?
Yeah. What did Gregory
She
Harrison
saved us
provide
nothing.
his own glasses?
Yeah. It's like, we
recently
didn't need your character to have a dog, but I guess thanks for providing one free. Did they have to hire the pet people to watch it, or they're already there for the other dog, or did this sneak by of PETA's, the ASPCA or whatever?
I don't know.
Sally Kellerman's dog, did it have a handler?
Well, I'm guessing there was a real Opala between Kleiser and his ex-lover.
Wait, so Opala is Sally Kellerman's dog in the movie, or is it just a different dog? I'm thinking it's a different dog, yeah.
It's got to be a different dog, but I
don't remember her dog. But.
No, me neither. But I was just thinking about the character's dog, the two main characters. I recently talked about the film The Lover and the Whore. It's a French movie by this guy Jean Eustache, who also wrote and directed this movie that was about him and his ex-lovers, and he also shot the movie in his own apartment.
Well, did you know that if you change the E in Eustache to an M, it's mustache?
You know what? I never thought of that.
Did you know that if you change the C in bitchin', it updates to Bitcoin? That's what the kids say instead of bitchin'.
Bitcoin. I took a trip recently, and there was I went to the beach, and there was this giant
Bitcoin.
wooden hut on the beach, and someone had just written Bitcoin all over the pieces of wood in this hut.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Crypto.
Crypto.
Yeah, so what are your impressions of this altogether?
Well, let's see. Let me just see if I had any other. Do you think they got a ski vacation out of doing the movie?
I mean, yeah, I had thought of that a little bit. I don't think they went to Switzerland. Maybe Big Bear.
Got a couple good names in the end credits. I don't remember what these people did, but there was Emil Raspopov and Glenn Ouchinachi.
I was taking a look at the plot keywords. I think that this should maybe be a running motif.
Ah, nice. Oh, they
Our
also
pod.
had special thanks to Bruce Valanche.
Ooh, get Bruce. This one doesn't have as much insane stuff. Which was the one that we were looking at? All of the crazy.
Oh, The Cure, yeah, right.
Yeah, but it was a Roberts movie we were talking about. Where it's like man beats
it was
woman.
Love, Cheat, and Steal.
Okay. Yeah, this one has the classic stuff that you're gonna see in the plot keywords. Some strange ones though. Overlapping dialogue.
Oh yeah, I could see that. This movie is like, since people hanging out at a party and all just hanging out, it does a good job of that. That's the main thing it does a good job of. And weird little life moments, yeah, like the part where the guy with the murder part and the part where
Yeah, that part did feel very alive and strange.
The Margaret Cho
I'm sure
part.
it really happened. I'm sure old Kleiser really killed somebody.
Yeah, Kleiser murdered a man, I guess is what we found out. from this
Kleiser
movie.
admits to murder in this film
Yeah.
and still gets away with it.
If I did it.
Yeah. Here's some more keywords. Male rear nudity.
There you go. That's what.
Male frontal nudity.
There you go.
Title based on song. Dignity.
Oh yeah, it is based on that song that they sang.
Yeah, so this is an assisted suicide film.
Yeah, I give it a rating. It was a mediocre movie. I watched another Randall Kleiser movie in preparation for this. I watched 2005's or 2006's Love Wrecked. I think 2005's Love Wrecked. It was a comedy starring the woman that doesn't act anymore, Amanda Bynes.
Randall Kleiser also directed The Blue Lagoon.
Yes. Yeah, he's been around.
Flight of the Navigator.
Yep. That's the movie I would have seen of his. But Love Wrecked with Amanda Bynes is mediocre. I'd probably put it on the same range of quality of this. I probably preferred Love Wrecked. But what it made me want to ask you is, have you ever seen She's the Man with Amanda
I have.
Bynes? How do you feel about that movie?
It's all right. I can't say I'm a fan of it. I know somebody who likes to watch that movie quite a bit.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I enjoed the movie. I liked it more
I
than,
didn't really ever
than
pay
the
much
80s
attention to it.
version, and the 80s version had like tons of boobs. That's really the only thing. The 80s version is crazy. Do you remember
Wait,
the 80s
so he
version?
made it?
Just one of the guys. Yeah, he didn't direct She's the Man. He directed the previous Amanda Bynes movie, Love Wreck.
Oh, I see. Yeah, just one of the guys. I mean.
Yeah, that was always on HBO in the daytime when I was a boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
one of my favorites.
And I would watch it and always have to flip it when my mom would come in, because the kid, he had all the nudie posters.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, the girl shows her boobs, but I don't think I ever was able to catch it in that second when it was on TV when she shows her boobs. I think.
Yeah, it's a brief second.
I don't think I ever realized. But man, seeing it now, it's crazy, because it's just all about high school kids, and the whole movie's about sex. And yeah, all it had so much nudity for a PG rated movie, or PG-13 or whatever it was. And also the plot makes no sense. She just goes back to her own school Monday as a boy with a different name, and suddenly has classes she's enrolled in and shit.
She goes to a different school.
No,
But, I mean,
and She's the
she
Man,
does.
she goes to a different school.
In just one of the guys,
She goes to a different school too?
she enrolls in a different high school.
Oh, my bad.
Which is still kind of implausible. Like in the end, she just goes back to her original school.
Yeah, because she just leaves on Friday and shows up on Monday.
Yeah, I wonder how what the trans community thinks about that film.
I feel like in She's the Man, they switch after a summer or something, go to a school far away in some way. Like her brother gets accepted into some school and she goes instead of him.
Another film directed by
more
Kleiser, Big Top Pee-wee.
Oh yeah, I thought of watching that. I've thought about watching that many times. That's one I should watch again.
So Randall Kleiser. So this is definitely, I would say, his most personal film of his whole
Let me pull up his
whole ovary.
His career.
I think one of his big, it looks like one of his big breakthroughs before Grease would have been the TV film The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Oh, I've seen that, and recently.
Starring
That's
Johnny
a great
Travolta.
Film. I definitely recommend The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Yeah, so it probably kicked off Kleiser's career. He had done some TV episodes.
Looks like he pretty much did all TV, until even after that, and then he finally got Grease to work with John Travolta again. I wonder
Yeah.
if maybe something happened where somebody got fired off Grease, because after Saturday Night Fever was released, right? But I guess maybe it was being made before they would know it was a hit. I don't know what to think. But
Here's something funny that I was doing a little bit of a dive on our mutual
he directed
friend.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Yeah.
White Fang.
I was looking up old Bronson Pinchot. Bronson Pinchot, he's currently 62 years old.
Nice.
He
right.
played Balky in Perfect Strangers, and I always had, for some strange reason, confused him when I was younger with, what's his name, River, the guy from Short Circuit.
Fisher Stevens?
Yeah, not River, Fisher Stevens.
I could see that.
Just because they both played like weird foreign. Fisher Stevens, obviously, he played, what would you call the version of playing a white person playing an Indian?
Flight of the Navigator was really similar to Short Circuit.
Yeah, in Short Circuit, Fisher Stevens plays a guy from India.
Yeah.
Who's like a robotics wizard of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
as all those weird people are. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of always had some weird confusion between Fisher Stevens and Pinchot when I was younger. Well, it turns out that in the original Short Circuit movie, Bronson Pinchot was the guy who was going to play the Indian character.
Whoa.
He left the production when he got hired on
Beverly
for
Hills
Perfect
Cop?
Strangers,
Oh.
and Fisher Stevens replaced him.
Whoa. Wow. That's some news.
Yeah, just adds to the weirdness of me, like when I was younger, kind of getting those two guys confused.
What's the country he's from?
Who's that?
Because Balky.
Oh, I don't remember.
Mipos.
Yeah, some kind of like Balkan state.
Yeah, it's like
Balky.
over there in the Aegean Sea.
I'm from the Balkans. My name is Balky. Yeah, I should watch some more Perfect Strangers. Well, I think we should wrap it up. We're starting to ramble a bit.
Oh, yeah, let me see if I have any notes here on this. Oh, yeah, how did you like the movie?
It was fair. I was affected by the film. I think maybe it's why I didn't want to talk about all those damn goodbyes in that last day. Is like, wow. I mean, it's a heavy film, and the idea of like knowing that you're going to die. Sure. These things, they make you think about your own mortality.
Yes. Yeah, they sure do, I suppose. I didn't really enjoy the movie much. It wasn't a bad movie, but it kind of was. I probably preferred Love Direct, but I'd give this movie like a 5 out of 10, maybe 4 or 5 out of 10.
I was going to give it probably a 6.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
The presence of George Segal brought it down to a
7.
5.
Oh, you don't like George Segal?
He's all right. I like him in, California Split.
No, like huge on him. The Hot Rock.
Look Who's Talking.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Talking Wolf?
His performance in Look Who's Talking is really good when his head explodes.
Whoa, I don't remember that.
It's like it's a fantasy that Kirstie Alley's character has.
Ah, that's cool. I wanted to say also, like that when they were saying like they didn't want the ensembles when they didn't want to put the main actor's name first, like we mentioned so many Roberts flops that they were like, if we want this shown at theaters, we're not putting Roberts' name.
Alphabetical order again.
Yeah, it's like I wonder if Roberts had a fight to get top billing in that.
Real quick before we sign off, I think we should talk about this year, 1996.
Oh yeah,
because this is this is a heavy Roberts year.
Whoa.
He was in a ton of stuff.
Okay.
He was in a film called The Grave. Never heard of it.
No.
He was in a film called Power 98.
No.
American Strays.
Yeah, that would come on cable for sure. I don't remember anything about it.
96 is when Heaven's Prisoners came out.
All right, our second 96er.
A TV movie, Doctor Who.
Whoa.
The Cable Guy.
Oh, yes, where he plays himself.
He plays himself in that one. Dark Angel, another TV movie.
Very funny cameo.
The Glass Cage. Ever hear of this film?
No.
Ever hear of Past Perfect?
No.
And he was also in an episode of The Drew Carey Show.
Heard of it. 2
episodes of a mini-series called In Cold Blood. I wonder if it was the
based on the novel? Probably. Well, we should maybe watch that at some point.
We could do an entire season of this podcast and that all just covers his stuff from 96. So that concludes this episode of the EsotEric 1996 Roberts podcast. And we'll see you guys next time for a little runaway train.
Bye.